Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I will be doing a new type of video called All My Books, Star Trek Edition. I got this video. Lots of people have been telling me they want to see like a list of all the books I have for different genres and whatnot. And so I coupled that idea with a video series from a booktuber I enjoy, Dan Murrell, and I'm calling this All My Books, Star Trek Edition. And so I'll be going through and just quickly showing you a book of mine, the Star Trek, and I will tell you either if I've read it, whether I disliked it, liked it, loved it, and adored it, or if I haven't read it, and whether I intend to soon or far away. So, because I have a lot of Star Trek books to get through. So let's begin. The first thing I will discuss is some of my TOS books. I have the book, The Klingon Gambit, which was entertaining. It was fine. I also have the book, Star Trek, the motion picture novelization. Haven't read it yet, but I intend to soon because I like the other novelizations I read. I also have the book, Child of Two Worlds by Greg Cox. Haven't read it yet, but I loved the Greg Cox books I have read, so this is going on the list. Let's find the other books. Oh no, they fell. I also have the novelization of Wrath of Khan. Really enjoyed it. Not superb, but really enjoyed it. I also have the book, The Search for Spock, one of my favorite novelizations ever. It was superb. It was wonderful. I also have the book, Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, and it is also one of my favorite novelizations ever. It was superb. Let's go to some of the other books that I have. So I'm going to pull down all of the Vanguard. I have the whole Vanguard series here. At least I think I grabbed properly all the Vanguard novels. We have the first one, Harbinger, which was fine. We have the second book, Summon the Thunder, which was okay. I didn't really like it. Same with the Whirlwind. Didn't really care for it. Then we also have the fourth book, Open Secrets, which was a good book. It was better than the other two, but it wasn't great. And then I have the books Precipice, the book Declassified, and I have the book Storming Heaven, which I have not read. And there's one more Star Trek book here. Oh no, it's not here. Maybe we'll find it later. I have another book in the series that's by Dayton Ward that haven't gotten to yet. So that's the Vanguard series. Let's go to the next books that I have. I have Star Trek Federation. I've heard nothing but good things about this book. I'm really excited to read it pretty soon. I also have the book From History's Shadow. Loved it. One of my favorite Star Trek books of the year. Absolutely loved it. And that's coming from someone who hasn't loved all of Dayton Ward's novels. So, then I have... Oh, here's the other Vanguard novel. Ah, I knew I would find it eventually. This is that other Vanguard novel. We'll read it eventually. IQ. Unfortunately, didn't really like this one. Kalis, loved it. One of my favorite standalones. I have Imzadi and Imzadi 2. Haven't read them yet. Interested in reading them because apparently this is one of the best-selling Star Trek novels ever. So we'll see how I like it. Haven't really heard great things about this, but I'm interested in reading it. So goes on the list. Then I have Vendetta, also another Peter David novel. I've read a couple Peter Davids. Some I've loved, some I've not loved. So we'll see how I feel about this one. I also have How Much for Just the Planet, one of my few one-star reviews of the year. I do not do one stars often. I also have Voyager, The Murdered Sun, one of Christy Golden's first novels, and it was her first Star Trek novel, really put her on the map, and it was really entertaining. And then I have Titan Sight Unseen. I have not read it, but I really want to eventually because I like James Spallow's writing style a whole lot. So that's that novel. All right, we're getting to my next. This is going to be the big Voyager section of the novel because I have a ton of Voyager books because it's the book series I'm most confident reading and also the one that I just enjoy the characters quite a lot, although I just feel it hasn't been handled the best. It's a complex feeling I have for Voyager, but I love it. I have the trilogy that they wrote, String Theory Cohesion, String Theory Fusion, and String Theory Evolution. I actually don't remember too much from these books because it was really ethereal and weird for me, but I remember enjoying them when I read them. I also have some other Voyager novels. I have a standalone, The Marooned, which didn't really care for, by Christie Golden. Also have her 7 of 9 novel, which was quite a lot of fun, but needed a lot more story. And then her Dark Matters. Of the books published during the Voyager run, like while Voyager was on, this is probably the best Voyager books. You have the books Dark Matters, Shadow of Cloak and Dagger, Ghost Dance, and Shadow of Heaven. And these weren't amazing, but of the Voyager novels at the time, they were pretty good. Then we have her 2 novels, Homecoming and The Farther Shore. Loved these books. They were brilliant. Do not like that they feel and are designed differently, but I loved these books. I thought they were both excellently written. Christie Golden's best Star Trek novels. All right, where are we? We have my favorite Voyager novel, Full Circle, that launched the whole Full Circle storyline, which was brilliant. We also have the sequels, Unworthy, which was pretty good, and the novel Children of the Storm, pretty good. The climactic epic book, Eternal Tide, one of Kirsten Byers' best books. And then we have the book Protectors, which kind of launched the new Voyager novels that she did, which was very good, I thought. We had Acts of Contrition, which was pretty good, and then Atonement, probably the best of that little arc that she did. Then she did what is probably considered her final arc, and I will talk about it if I can find those books, but I don't know where they went. I'll talk about the final arc of that in a moment. But first, let's go to my DS9 novels. DS9 is a series that I don't love the experience of watching the show, but I really like reading the books. And I haven't even read that much of it. But of dedicated DS9 novels, I have the 2 books for the Avatar series, Book 1 and Book 2. Don't even get names for some reason, which is weird. Book 1 and Book 2 by S.D. Perry. I thought these were pretty good, but should have been just one big book. Okay. Then I also have the Star Trek Mission Gamma books, which for Avatar and Mission Gamma have all the reviews here on the channel. I have Twilight, loved it. That's not the next one. This Gray Spirit, loved it. Cathedral, liked it. And Lesser Evil, also a Star Wars novel name. Lesser Evil, loved it. So those are the DS9 novels that I've read. And then I have some other DS9 and Next Generation type books that I haven't read or have read. Immortal Coil, read it, was really impressed by it, and was spurned to read another book series based off this. Never got around to finishing that series, and I need to. I'll talk about that in a moment. Then I have Delight Fantastic, which is like a sequel, but was like 12 years later. This book I'm really interested in reading, and I will read it once I finish another series that I'll talk about. Then I have another book of his, which seems more standalone, that this one I'm most interested in, and that is Star Trek Deep Space Nine Force in Motion. Because of 2 things. Because of the write-up on the back, I'm interested, and also because of the cover. I just thought this was one of the most brilliant cover arts I've ever seen, and it was one of those 50th anniversary books that was really cool. All right, so that's that. What's the next series I should talk about? I guess I can talk about Tales of the Dominion War. Haven't read it yet. Really interested. Unfortunately, it's a brand new signed copy, and when I tried to take a sticker off on the back, it tore, which is unfortunate. But I intend to read this eventually, but I'm not a short story person, so it might be a while before I get to it. I also have my absolute favorite Star Trek novels of all time. These 4 novels will probably never be unseated because that is how good they are. All of them by one author, John Jackson Miller. You have Takedown, brilliant standalone novel. You have Hell's Heart, the first book in the Prey trilogy. Also superb, amazing adorableness. Then you have The Jackal's Trick, horrifying cover. It's amazingly, brilliantly horrifying, but it's really cool. Also, amazing novel. And Hall of Heroes, amazing books. Like, every book in here is the best. It's just so good. So that's that trilogy. And the standalone. Let's talk about some standalones here. Greater Than the Sum by Christopher Bennett. Really, really, really good Borg story. And then I also have Articles of the Federation, one of my favorite Star Trek novels ever. It's basically the West Wing meets Star Trek. It's great. I have reviews for both of these on the channel. I also have one of my other favorite series called The Fall series. This is like predates the Prey series. You have Revelation and Dust. Thought it was okay. Didn't love it. Crimson Shadow, one of my favorite novels. A Ceremony of Losses, one of my favorite novels. Also David Mack. The Poison Chalice by James Swallow. I told you I like James Swallow. One of my favorite novels. And Peaceable Kingdoms by Dayton Ward. It was fine. It was good. It was better than Revelation and Dust. All right, where am I next? Next, we're getting into some of my trade paperbacks because they had to move it to trade paperbacks. I'm not bitter at all. Star Trek Discovery Desperate Hours, a really beaten up copy that I found at a used bookstore. I intend to read it soon because I'm going to meet David Mack soon. This one, going to read it soon. Enterprise War, one of Jonathan Jackson Miller's weakest novels and yet an amazing novel. I also have Die Standing, the Scribe Award winner. This was a Scribe Award nominee. This was a Scribe Award winner. It was amazing, an amazing novel, and really, really good. And then I have Antares Maelstrom, also one of my favorite standalones, just so good. And then I had Captain's Oath, which was good. All right, going to the next one. I have The Lost Years, intend to read it. It's by J.M. Dillard. Intend to read it, but probably won't be for a while because I have so many other Star Trek novels that I'm more interested in. Also have this version. This is so weird. My mom bought me this for Christmas because she just went to Amazon. I told her I wanted this book. She went to Amazon, looked up the book on Amazon, saw, okay, this book, so she bought it. And it says it was printed like the day she bought it. And it's a trade paperback, and it doesn't say it's a large print edition, but it's a large print edition, and I already had this book of the Vanguard series, so I went out and bought the actual mass market to match the others. Why are they printing this like this? Why not just print mass markets? I'm really confused why they did that. Especially, this would make sense if at the time this came out as a large print, but they printed it, it was like a print-on-demand type thing the day of, back in Christmas 2021. Really weird. Anyway, I have the novel. So, next we have the Voyager Endgame novelization by, who is this? Diane Carey. Really good. If you look at Goodreads, it says with Christy Golden. Not Goodreads, Fantastic Fiction. You look at Fantastic Fiction, it says with Christy Golden, and I was like, Christy Golden participated? No, it just has the beginning of Homecoming in the back of this book because they needed to make it a full-length book. Also, why trade paperback? This was during the mass market time. Anyway, I'm going to go on tangents. This is going to be a long enough video. Mosaic by Jerry Taylor. A good book, but not amazing. Then I have Picard, The Last Best Hope. Amazing novel. Amazing, and I don't even like the show Picard. And this was an amazing novel. I also have the novel Picard, Rogue Elements. Amazing novel, and I don't even like Star Trek Picard. Again, it's amazing what tie-in fiction can do that I can love it, even though I don't like what it's based on. Then you have, I have another trade paperback version of Typhon Pact, the Brinksmanship. I have a mass market I'll talk about in a second. And this one's just weird to me. It's just weird. Why? It's not even in line with the other trades, so why? Anyway, it's a different conversation. Then we have the climactic ending series, the Coda series, Moments Asunder, Ashes of Tomorrow, and Oblivion's Gate. Boy, I loved reading this because this was the first series from Star Trek that I read as it was happening, and it also was the end of this whole post-Nemesis series. Anyway, that was a really good series, particularly Book 2. Book 2 is amazing. Books 1 and 3 were also really good. So I'll put those down. Then we have Star Trek Revenant, Alex White. Not a big fan of White himself, but this novel is really interesting. Really, really interesting. I really loved it. Good Deep Space Nine novel. Then Star Trek The Unsettling Stars by Alan Dean Foster. The novel that was written and then shelved and then rewritten kind of and finally released after 12 years. It was really weird how this one went down. But I'm excited to read it because I found it cheap. And then I promised that Voyager finale series thing. Well, I have the books that led up to it. I have A Pocket Full of Lies. I have Architects of Infinity. And then I have, when I moved over to trade paperback, To Lose the Earth. Why? Why? And then I have another copy of Peaceable Kingdoms and Children of the Storm. I just have extra copies of them because of a long story. And then I have A Singular Destiny, Keith R. A. DeCandido. Loved his other books of his I read, and I intend to read this one eventually, and I'm really excited. So that's this one. All right. What else do I have? I have the entire A Time to series. Oh. Let's see if I can go through this one quickly enough. Let's start with the beginning. You have A Time to Be Born and A Time to Die, both by John Vornholt. They're fine. Then we have A Time to Sow and A Time to Harvest. Didn't love them. Then we have A Time to Love and A Time to Hate. Actually, pretty fun. Better than the other ones. Then we had A Time to Kill and A Time to Heal. Amazing. And then we had A Time for War and A Time for Peace. Brilliant. I'm keeping that in. It'll be fine. Then we have the Typhon Pact series, which starts with Zero Sum Game. Read it, thought it was fine. And then the rest of them I haven't read, but I will be reading in the next 2 or 3 months. Then I have Seize the Fire. Then I have Rough Beasts of Empire. Then I have Paths of Disharmony. Then I have, which one's next? I think Plagues of Night, Raise the Dawn, and Brinksmanship. Really interested to read this series because I've heard mixed things about it. Getting into the big finale here, some of the trilogies I have. I have the Legacies trilogy, Captain to Captain by Greg Cox, Best Defense by David Mack, and Purgatory's Key by Ward and by Dillmore. I thought that the first book was amazing, second book really good, third book pretty good. It's a little downhill, but overall it never left the good stage. It was all still pretty good. Then we have David Mack's the Cold Equations trilogy, Persistence of Memory. Read it, thought it was good. Books 2 and 3. Book 2, Silent Weapons. Book 3, The Body Electric. Haven't read them yet. I read them I've read the first one in January, thinking I was going to read the whole trilogy in January. Yeah, that didn't happen. All right, and then we have the ones you've all been waiting for: Gods of Night, Mere Mortals, and Lost Souls. The 3 books in the Destiny trilogy. One of the biggest and best Star Trek series ever. Dun dun dun. I was really happy I could find all these because they're just not. You would think, oh, you can find those anywhere because of how widely sold they are. Not in the bookstores of the local towns that I've lived in and gone to. Oh my, this is hard. Some of the hardest books to find. And so I was so happy when I did find them. So, that is all my Star Trek books. I'm going to have to do a tally in a minute, but I think it's over 100. Certainly, if you count I I forgot Hollow Men, which is a bad copy, but Hollow Men. I need to go through and do a full counting eventually, but it's certainly 100. So that's all my Star Trek books. If you've been watching this so far and you've watched all the way through, first of all, congratulations, wow. But thank you for watching. My name is Jonathan.